Guys, well, we are officially in the Libra new moon cycle, and this is going to be a cycle that is marked by a lot of upheaval and a lot of volatile energy that we have coming in. And this weekend is really no different than that. It is coming in hot. We have the exact to the minute conjunction between Mars and the Sun that is happening on Friday. We also have Mars, Mercury, and the Sun coming into an exact conjunction on Saturday. And we have Saturn going direct on Sunday. So bam, 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 fire, 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 intensity, 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 pressure, pressure, pressure. That is where we're at right now. Welcome back to my channel, everybody. Today is Friday, October 8th, 2021. My name is Aubrey, and this is your astrological outlook for the weekend. And it is just we are just in like some of the most high intensity energetics that we could possibly be in right now. And that is a good thing because it's giving us a lot of energy and passion and motivation and drive and assertiveness and willpower to stand up for ourselves and to stand our ground and to take back our power. But simultaneously, it is also creating a lot of conflict and tension and upheaval and volatility and dynamism and explosive energy that we're having to deal with alongside of this as well. So it's just heating up and heating up. We know that this entire cycle that we're in right now over the next 4 weeks, as this cycle unfolds, these are going to be the themes, but it is just rising in intensity through this weekend. Once we get through this weekend, things should sort of like simmer down a little bit. However, it is this 4 week cycle that is going to be marked by these intense energetics. And also on Saturday, or actually tonight, like I said, or Friday, we have the exact Sun, Mars to the minute conjunction coming in. And this means that there is a new cycle beginning between Mars and the Sun. Whenever planets come into a conjunction with one another, they begin a new cycle, and then they go through this process of they go from the conjunction, which is both together, to the first square, which is 90 degrees apart, to the opposition, which is 180 degrees apart, to the third square, which is the last 90 degrees apart, and then back to the conjunction when they begin a new cycle. So they go through this 4-part process. And with Mars and the Sun, this is a 2.5 year cycle. And it's really sort of telling us some themes that we can expect to experience over the next 2.5 years while this cycle's in effect. And I'll get there in a minute. But first of all, let's just dive into what we have specifically going on for Friday. And that is, like I said, it's interesting. This aspect, this exact to the minute activation of Mars and the Sun is actually coming in at 12 a.m. on the dot Eastern time. And it's happening at 15 degrees and 6 minutes of Libra. That is when Mars and the Sun will be both at the very, very, very exact same degree to the minute in the sky. And this is what will initiate and begin this new cycle of Mars and the Sun. So actually, this is happening overnight on Friday, and the exact activation is 12 a.m. on Friday. And so it's building all day Thursday. It's been building since, a few days before the new moon. But the exact climax is going to happen at 12 a.m. Eastern on Friday, and we will wake up to these energetics. We will very much so be in these energetics on Saturday when we wake up. And for those of you who are new to my channel, welcome. For those of you who are unaware what the Sabian Symbols are, what they are is a group of energetics or a group of symbols that describe each and every one of the 360 degrees of the energetics. And I reference the Sabian Symbols every day in my astrology because what they do is they describe the specific point, the specific degree activation that is going on in any transit or any specific planetary activation at any point in time. So it's like each specific degree has a Sabian symbol that describes that degree symbolically. And so if we really want to understand the underlying nature and purpose and the context of these energetic activations in, their role in the overall unfolding constant activations that are always going on, via the cosmic blueprint that really takes us through time and space. We can look to the Sabian symbols, and it gives us more information about why these aspects are specifically occurring. So I always reference the Sabian symbols, and I wanted to state that up front because I'm about to get into talking about the Sabians in just a few minutes. So I just wanted to go ahead and say that. But anyways, so we are starting this new cycle of Mars and the Sun. It is coming in exactly at 12 a.m. on Friday. This again, Mars and the Sun, high intensity, high energy, passion, willpower, motivation, drive, assertiveness. It brings conflicts, it brings tension, it brings, like I said, volatility. All of these things going on with Mars and the Sun. It just heats things up. Like, it's really intense. Like, Mars is the hot planet. The Sun is also very hot. Both of them rule our energy. And so it really just heats things up for us. And we have to remember, though, okay, this conjunction between Mars and the Sun, it's happening in Libra. Libra is ruled by Venus. And so the positioning of Venus for this activation today is really giving us more information about why everything that transpires over the next 2.5 years with this activation, what the ultimate point and purpose of it is, has to do with what Venus is doing today at the moment of this conjunction, because she really is the ruler of the sign, of the energy where this is taking place. And she is at 1 degree of Sagittarius. Venus has just moved into Sagittarius, and she will be at 1 degree of Sagittarius for this exact activation. Venus in Sagittarius wants freedom, wants truth, wants to be liberated, but most fundamentally, Venus in Sagittarius is really about true love, because Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, and it's the sign associated with the truth. And Venus rules love and, our heart. And so when Venus is in Sagittarius, true love is what she is seeking, okay? Freedom of expression, freedom and liberation to align with the truest, realest form, the highest form of love. And so whatever conflict we face, whatever is transpiring over this next 2.5 years that really may be disheveling things in terms of our relationships, our partnerships, our finances, what brings us comfort and security and pleasure, really upsetting the status quo with Mars and Libra, starting the cycle with the Sun over the next 2 years, we have to remember that everything that crumbles, that everything that explodes or implodes or that is destroyed and has to fall away at this period of time, it is happening so that we at the end of this period can come into an alignment with our true love. And that doesn't even necessarily need to be in a romantic sense, although with Venus does rule relationships, but she also rules partnerships and finances and our ability to relate generally with other people. So what this is doing is really trying to break us free, to destroy situations that are keeping us out of alignment with the truth of the nature of our heart and the relationships and the partnerships and the social interactions and the financial circumstances and conditions that can really support our heart's true expression, what we truly hold in our heart, aligning the exterior parts of our life with our true love so that we can experience this true and authentic and genuine fulfillment and really have an entirely different experience of life going forward. That is what all of this is pushing towards. So, rest assured, this new moon in Libra cycle is likely to be a very tumultuous, uncomfortable cycle. And this next couple of years as well is likely to be quite unsettling and really disturbing our peace in a lot of ways. But ultimately, it is for the purpose of bringing us into alignment with the things that resonate to our true love and what makes us feel in alignment sincerely, genuinely, and authentically with our heart. So at the end of the day, we are going somewhere beautiful. However, that process may be quite tense and eruptive and explosive and destructive so that we can go through this phoenix rebirth, transformation, metamorphosis, and start aligning with those things that correlate to our heart's true love and true desires. So we need to rest assured in our faith regardless of what happens, that we are going in a better direction at the end of the day. Breakdown for the purpose of realignment and reconstruction. These are the themes that I see associated with the energetics today that are coming through symbolically. Now let's jump into those Sabian symbols that I referenced earlier, and I want to talk about what Sabian symbols are discharging today for this exact activation. And we have the sun today at 16 degrees of Libra. This Sabian symbol is after a storm, a boat landing stands in need of reconstruction. So that is actually the degree where both Mars and the sun are today. After a storm, a boat landing stands in need of reconstruction. We also have the moon at the exact moment of this activation today will be at 9 degrees of Scorpio. And that Sabian symbol is a dentist hard at work. We also have Mercury retrograde at 19 degrees of Libra for this activation. And that degree is a gang of robbers in hiding. We have Venus at 1 degree of Sagittarius. Like I said, this degree is retired Army veterans gather to reawaken old memories. And we have the Earth today at 16 degrees of Aries, always in a polar opposition to the sun, at fairies dancing in the setting sun. So when I'm thinking about this symbolism in the context of everything that is going on right now, and all of this like reconstruction, realignment, the boat landing that has been destroyed by the storm, needing reconstruction, and the dentist hard at work. Again, this is the way that I'm reading this, the way that I'm seeing this. This is breakdown for the purpose of realignment, the dentist hard at work, and reconstruction, the boat landing in need of reconstruction. So it's also interesting too with the boat in the water symbolism that has been destroyed by the storm, because we're transitioning right now out of the age of Pisces, which is very, very much a water sign, and into the age of Aquarius, which is an air sign. And the boat landing standing in need of reconstruction after the storm, to me, this is also sort of symbolic in terms of our old paradigm perhaps being a bit shattered by some of the information or the changes that are coming with this cycle. The boat landing standing in need of reconstruction, the mode of transportation that we used to use to navigate the watery paradigm of Pisces is being destroyed. Our connections to the past and to where we come from are being destroyed, and they need to be reconstructed and recreated so that they can take us now further in another direction. So again, I'm really just seeing this because Mars and the sun, this is combustive energy. And for the new moon, it was also in a quincunx with Uranus, which is even more like dynamism and combustion. And with these specific degrees being discharged, it really to me is talking about just this destruction of the old ways, of the old understandings, of the old feelings also, and a need to reconstruct, to realign moving forward in a way that is going to lead us to the true love that we really seek across the board in our lives. So very interesting how this is coming out. So yes, we are beginning a new cycle with Mars and the sun, 2.5 years. It is in Libra. Now let's jump back actually for a minute before I get into the energetics for Saturday and Sunday. And I want to talk just for like a quick second about the last Mars-Sun cycle that we had. Now, this cycle began in Virgo. The previous conjunction between Mars and the Sun, the last Mars-Sun cycle that we had that is finishing up, and we're starting the new Mars-Sun cycle today. That began in Virgo. And let's just think for just a minute about what we experienced during that period of time. Mars, again, rules war, battle. And we definitely experienced over this period of time, a fight for our health, a war on our health, a war on healing, and also work. So many people have been out of work and have been having a hard time making money, and their day-to-day lifestyles ruled by Virgo have been totally upset and disheveled by everything that we've been experiencing. And it really has been going on for, the past 2 years now. And this was definitely a very big theme of Mars and the sun conjunct in Virgo. Virgo rules our health. Virgo rules our healing. Virgo rules the harvest, what we can produce and create. Virgo rules our daily life and routines, and also the work that we do. And each and every one of those themes and areas of life really experienced some major conflict and some major, there has been a lot of battle and fight going on in regards to the best ways to heal from this situation, who's right, who is wrong, different methods, different ways, and people being able to go to work and to resume their normal daily lives and to be able to make the money the way that they used to reap their harvest. All of these things have experienced major upsets, and they were very unpredictable. And that is another feature of Mars and the sun. When Mars is hidden in the rays of the sun, when Mars is technically invisible, you can't see Mars. And when Mars is invisible, this is a very unpredictable action-based energy. And we experienced a lot of very unpredictable conflict, tension, fights in regards to all of the Virgo themes over the past 2 years: health and healing, our daily lives and routines, our lifestyles, also how we make our money, our work, our job, and our harvest. We weren't able to reap the harvest of our efforts in the same way that we usually have. And it was just a very heated and contentious and difficult time along the Virgo themes. And this is sort of what we're looking at when we have Mars making conjunction to the sun. Of course, it also really inspired people. It has also inspired a lot of people. People have also had a lot of willpower and initiative and motivation to really regain their control over their own health and to improve their own health and to take their health into their own hands and to fight for their own choices in their own health. So there has been a positive side to this as well. And also people have become much more independent and creative and passionate in their ways of making money. A lot of changes in the ways that people are making money, a lot of changes for the better in a lot of cases, also in daily lifestyle, having more motivation and initiative and self motivation to take your health, take your healing, take your lifestyle back into your own hands. Like, that has been the flip side of this. So there is a positive always, but we've definitely experienced a war on health in the human body for sure over this past Mars-Sun cycle in Virgo. Now we're moving into the Mars-Sun cycle in Libra. And again, Mars in the Sun always brings some unexpected changes and upheavals and explosive tendencies in one way or another. And this, over the next 2.5 years, it behooves us to sort of prepare our mind that we may experience sort of a war on connecting, socializing, interaction, and information. Also, commerce and trades ruled by Libra, and also the arts and just peace, balance, and justice generally, finances, and economies. There really could be some very unexpected changes and things happening with all of these. Oh my gosh. There's a spider right there, and I'm so glad that didn't just land on my head. I need to move my chair a little bit. Just like a little tiny spider, but I don't like spiders, and they make me uncomfortable. Okay, sorry about that distraction. I just didn't want to get landed on by a spider. So, spiders, though, they're the weavers of time. Interesting. Okay, so, yeah, now I'm all distracted. Silly spider. Okay, sorry guys. Yes, so all of these like Libra Venus themes going on, we may experience some type of conflict or some type of battle, upsetting the peace, the status quo, especially, along those lines, what I said, socializing and interacting with other people, commerce and trades, arts, peace, balance, and finances for sure. I'm definitely seeing some major financial and economic upheaval coming over the next 2.5 years. That is probably very likely to create a lot of discomfort generally in just the status quo of our lives, okay? So also, this can represent conflicts in relationships and partnerships, pleasures and comforts, like I said, upsetting the balance of things. War on information and personal connection generally might be a theme. And we may see, more division and more polarity with this, because Libra does rule the two sides of things, the weighing of the scales, the two different perspectives. So there's two sides of this story. There's two ways that this energy is being experienced, but on the positive side, because there's always a positive octave. We are fighting also for justice in these same areas. Libra rules justice. We are fighting for justice, and we are fighting to rectify things. And we have this expanded ability in this very driven, passionate, willful ability to relate from the heart. It's happening in Libra. And again, this is all pushing us towards this final outcome of actually being able to align with our true love, with our true heart's desires. So a lot of conflict along the way, possibly some very unexpected things that happen this next 2.5 years that are not comfortable for the personal status quo in our life and our pleasure and, our relationships as they are now. But, this energy is also going to be helping us to let go of a lot of past beliefs and open to new ways, new options, and new understandings of things. And ultimately, it is really all coming down to whether or not we are going to surrender to the changes that are happening to realign us with something much more in alignment with our heart's true desires, or whether we are sort of going to fight against it and experience just more and more enhanced levels of conflict and difficulty until we come to a point where we stop resisting and we surrender, because ultimately universe is trying to move us in a direction that is the best and the highest for us. And even though we won't be able most likely to perceive it that way while it's happening, this surrender to the process and to our faith is a really big part of it as well. But Mars and the sun coming to this conjunction, starting this new cycle in Libra, is just definitely likely to upset the balance and the peace in things over this next 2.5 years, bring a lot of really profound changes to, like I said, what we're comfortable with, the status quo generally of our lives. And so that is something that we really need to be preparing ourselves for and not super surprised when it starts happening. These next 2 years will take us all out of our comfort zones to align us with true love. That's where we're going. That's what's happening. So back to the aspects for today. Aside from this exact activation, which is really the most significant thing going on right now, we also have the moon, though, today coming into a square with Saturn retrograde. And so this is bringing up internal conflict about how we can rebuild in a way where we feel good about it. It's conflict between our feelings and our duties and our obligations and our responsibilities. So this may be bringing some internal tension as well today. So it's we have tension going on because of the sun and Mars in conjunction. We also have tension going on because of the moon coming into a square with Saturn. And the moon is also going to be making an opposition to Uranus today as well. So that, without all of these other aspects going on, that brings shocks, surprises, upsets, things being thrown up in the air. So definitely Friday, a day where we might see some really, shocking things going on. I'm having all types of trouble today. Also, we have that Uranus aspect going on today as well, which today is just primed for explosive happenings, occurrences, ongoings. Also today, you guys, Mercury is 3 degrees off. At the moment of this activation, Mercury is still 3 degrees off, but that is technically a conjunction with the Mars Sun activation today, and Mercury is at 19 degrees of Libra. That Sabian symbol is a gang of robbers in hiding. And so that is also telling me that possibly over this next 2.5 years, we may learn a lot about crimes that have gone on behind the scenes. And this is because we have Mercury retrograde in the conjunction to Mars and the Sun, ruling things happening behind the scenes. Mercury is at the gang of robbers and hiding. We also have the moon in Scorpio today for this activation, talking about things happening behind the scenes, while Pluto just went direct. Pluto and Mars are both the rulers of Scorpio. Mars is conjunct the Sun. Pluto just went direct. And we also have Venus in Sagittarius, the sign of truth. So all of these four things, Mercury at 19 Libra, conjunct the Sun and Mars, while the moon is in Scorpio. We have Pluto direct and Venus in Sagittarius. All of these things make me think that over this next 2.5 years, we may learn about some crimes that have gone on behind the scene in some way. And this weekend, headed into next week, we may have some big or explosive news coming in. And that is because on Saturday, we have Mercury, Mars, and Sun all coming into a conjunction at 17 degrees of Libra. This is huge, you guys. Saturday is a really big day. We have Sun, like I said, Sun, Mars, Mercury, all at 17 degrees of Libra. We also have Venus, Moon, and South Node all at 3 degrees of Sagittarius. So we have two huge conjunctions going on Saturday. Mercury, Mars, and the Sun. You guys, Mercury's retrograde too. This is big, explosive revelations having to do with the past. Big information, big news that makes a big impact. We are primed, absolutely primed for this energy coming in. And Venus with the moon in the South Node, we are emotionally letting go and moving on from anything that is not aligned with the truth in our heart, that does not bring us emotional freedom, and that prohibits us from being able to align with our true love. So both of these things going on simultaneously on Saturday. 17 degrees of Libra, where this triple conjunction is happening. A retired sea captain watches ships entering and leaving the harbor, letting go of the things we once loved and our old identity, reminiscing and nostalgia, but we are moving on and releasing the old things and opening to receive the fresh new growth coming in that aligns with our true heart's love and desires. Venus, the moon, the South Node, 3 degrees of Sagittarius. That Sabian symbol is two men playing chess. So across the board, we are done playing games, and those three, the South Node, Venus, and the moon at 3 degrees of Sagittarius opposing the North Node at 3 degrees of Gemini. That degree is the Garden of the Tuileries in Paris. We are done playing games. We are done keeping up false images, maintaining false appearances. We are ready to surrender the pain of losing who we were to gain who we truly are now and the soul liberation that comes from that. We are letting go of the identity, the false identity that we created for ourselves and that we have maintained diligently up until this point. We are letting it go so that we can become who we truly, really are and who we've always been meant to be. And this is happening in exact correspondence to that 3-planet conjunction. That is a very big deal. And it's happening in Libra, and Venus rules Libra. Okay. So guys, I'm just saying what it is. The things that we've really loved in the past that were associated with the image and the appearance that we've cultivated for ourselves that has been out of alignment with who we truly are in the deep recesses of our heart and what we truly love. These things, it is time. We are having to make choices and decisions to walk away and to leave our old identity in the past so that we can become and embrace who we really truly have always been meant to be. So letting go of the old identity, but we are opening to receive the fresh new that's coming in. There are choices being indicated in the Sabian symbols today as well. We have 2 men playing chess. The degree of the earth, 17 Aries on Saturday, is 2 prim spinsters sitting in silence. Number 2, this is about choices, options, decisions, polarities, and we are choosing now with this. We are choosing what stays and what goes. That's just how it is. Now I want to talk about Sunday really quick. Sunday is the day when these activations are finally breaking up and moving away. We will have the sun move to 18 degrees of Libra. This Sabian symbol is two men placed under arrest. We will have the Mars at 17 Libra, the retired sea captain degree, and then we will have Mercury retrograde at 16 degrees of Libra, the boat landing in need of reconstruction, activating that initial specific to the minute activation of Mars and the sun. So, I mean, again, Sunday could be a day of big revelations, big news, big information heading into Monday. And we also have the moon in Sagittarius that day as well. Also, you guys, both Saturday and Sunday are going to be black moon days as well, because the moon will be in Sagittarius opposing the black moon. So this is also going to be triggering and bringing up shadow side issues. So very, very intense weekend energetics. The big news on Sunday, though, you guys, is that Saturn is going direct. Saturn is the judge. Saturn is the critic. Saturn is the boss. And with Saturn going direct, we are going to start building now. We've gone through this process of reevaluating the old structures and foundations in our life, and it's time to lay these new foundations. And with Saturn going direct, things are going to start moving forward. For sure, we just had Pluto go direct. Now we have Saturn going direct. Things are going to start moving forward. And let's see. We also, with that moon in Sagittarius, have it on Sunday, have it coming into a sextile with the planets that are conglomerated in Libra. And so this is also creating an emotional alignment with the big energies coming in today. Although we have that black moon energy, so it may be triggering fears. This is basically what I have for the energetics for the week, you guys, or for the weekend. I mean, it is this is a huge weekend astrologically. Very heated, very intense, lots of passion, willpower, motivation, lots of information coming through that may be busting through paradigms, blowing minds, okay? That type of vibe. So we really just need to do our best to stay as grounded as we can and make sure we're channeling our energy in the right ways. Now, real quick, I am going to talk about the tarot for the weekend. I drew two cards. The first one was the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. The second was the Page of Swords. So collectively, we're all feeling like we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know how things are going to go. Everything is thrown up in the air, but we have new ideas and new information coming through. And at the back of the deck, it was, whoa, I'm all over the place today. It was the Two of Swords. So it's pushing us to make a blind choice. It's pushing us to really make a decision. Everything is up in the air right now, but we're gaining this new information and these new ideas. And, you know, things are being thrown up in the air and it's confusing, and our previous planned life trajectory may not seem like that's the direction anymore, but we're having to make a blind choice. We're having to make a hard decision and deciding which way to go moving forward. And our choices now truly do dictate the outcome of our experiences. And remember, we do not want to be resisting these choices, because universe is ultimately trying to bring us in alignment with our true love, and that is where we ultimately want to go. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on Monday.